Well, today on this new iteration of This Is Investing with me hosting it, little 10-minute episodes just to encourage people to keep invested, to stay invested, because remember, it's easy to invest and it's harder to stay invested. This little series is brought to you by the Quick Start Guide to Investing. It is my book that I wrote with Nick Bradley. It's a great start if you want to optimize your investing and get more investing and do all the things. First guest ever on this iteration of whatever this is investing, is Vince Scully. And I'm going to work out some questions that anytime I have a podcast and a guest, I'll ask them these same type of questions and we'll see how that goes. Vince from Sherpa, welcome.
Thank you, Glen. It's great to be here.
What makes a successful investor in your mind?
Humility and patience. And it's humility because you can't control the market, so you need to work with it. And patience because all investing takes time and compounding is your friend.
So what if, a successful investor, what if someone invests in something speculative and it goes to the moon? Does that meet your definition of an investment?
I think you've got to distinguish between a good decision and a good outcome, because the two don't always go together. There are bad decisions that have good outcomes and great decisions that have bad outcomes. And if you want an example, my investment at Macquarie Bank when I joined as a fairly junior analyst, I invested an imprudently large sum of money in what was then an unlisted company. And by any objective measure, that was a dumb decision. It went from $3.50 to $100 in my 8 years there. So great outcome, but by any measure, that was a bad decision at the beginning.
And these questions, everyone, there's no real answer. Like, there's no right or wrong. If it's wrong, I'll probably jump in and challenge someone. But the next question, super or non-super, and why?
Well, for me, being over 60, super is a no-brainer.
Okay.
Because I've obviously capable of achieving a condition of release. I've passed my preservation age. But the key decision is, do you want to spend this money before you turn 60? That there is no argument that super is the most tax-efficient way of saving in Australia by a long shot. But it's useless if you want to spend the money before 60. So that's my number one decision-making tool.
Okay. Now, the next question, mortgage or invest?
The mathematical answer is invest, because over time you would expect that the returns on investing will exceed the cost of your mortgage.
After tax?
After tax, over a long time.
Yep.
So if you think that you're going to get a typical growth portfolio might be 9, average home loan rate's 5, and throw in some franking. So over time, it's going to be better. But, third of the time in any 1 year, it won't. So you need a long time, and you need to be comfortable with your mortgage payment, and you need to have a decent amount of equity. So if you've just bought your first home, pay off your mortgage. If you've got to the point where you've got teenage kids and you've got plenty of cash, then start investing.
What do you think is the biggest barrier for people around investing?
Getting started.
Yep.
That, the three vital parts of investing are get invested, stay invested, and invest some more. And
was that 4?
That's 3. Get invested, stay invested, and invest some more.
Oh, sorry.
And the getting started bit is the tough bit, because people get obsessed about, well, should I use this platform or that platform? Should I buy ETFs or manage funds? Should I buy shares or should I buy bonds? Should I buy gold? When you're starting with your first dollar, what matters is, are you invested, not what you invested in or which platform you buy it on. So get started. When you get to about $5,000, now you should start worrying about what it's invested in and how you're investing. But getting invested is the hardest decision for most people.
Do you have to be smart to be good with money?
I think you have to not be dumb, and you have to not be arrogant, and you have to not be overconfident in your abilities. That
I heard someone say once, humility and patience is a good thing. It wasn't really an influential person in my life. I can't even remember who said it.
I think I said it 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes and 28 seconds ago. So not be dumb.
Yeah, that one of the biggest hurdles is being overconfident in your ability. You're not bigger than the market. You can't overwhelm the market with analysis. And this is often why engineers and software engineers in particular make bad investors, because the thing that makes them a great software engineer will make them a bad investor.
Is it because they want to optimize everything and get the cheapest everything?
And the belief that this is a beast to be conquered, that there is a right answer and enough analysis will get you there.
Yeah, so they're looking at they're looking at a colourful world thinking it's black and white.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for a binary yes or no.
Yeah, and looking for a technical solution to a psychological problem.
How do you know when you've financially made it?
Enough is, I think, the short term. And what is enough? Enough to me has three limbs to it. There's enough money to sleep at night, enough purpose to get up in the morning, and enough joy to sustain you through the day. And you will know when you get there.
And would you say that is your definition of success?
For me, that's the definition of success. Success is not a number.
Do you think you've achieved that? Would you say, based on your own definition of success, you have met that definition?
Yeah, I feel very comfortable with my life.
And are you having a new target? Have you got another mountain to climb, or are you at the top of Everest, or if you're like, base camp's good enough for me, I'm happy?
No, this is probably one of the great human behavioural problems, is that when we set goals and achieve them, you need to be careful that there's not what's the next hurdle? And so understanding why you did what you did, why that goal matters, I think helps solve that problem. I do what I do because I enjoy it. It doesn't really matter to me whether it's, well, for me personally, it doesn't matter whether we look after 5,000 people or 10,000 people or 100,000 people. But it matters to my team and it matters to the future of Australia. That's what keeps me going. So that's why I say I'm FinRight, so financially independent, not ready to not retiring imminently, too engaged.
FINRITE. Financially independent, not ready.
Not retiring imminently.
Not retiring imminently.
Too engaged.
Too engaged. Did you make that up?
I did.
Are you trying to match my loot?
No, I could not. I could not hope to compete with a young creative like yourself, Glen. I'm just an old grey has-been, as they say.
If $10,000 rocked up in your bank account tomorrow, what are you doing with it?
I'm putting it with all the other ones. That if it's right for your first million, it's right for the next 100,000. Yeah.
Or the next 10,000.
Yeah.
Not splurging or... Because what is the dance?
Sorry. If the question was where would I invest it?
Well, yeah.
Invest it. If the question is what would I do with it?
Yeah.
I'm probably more likely to spend it.
Yeah.
My next big purchase is to replace my car. When I bought it, I thought it would be my last petrol car. I think the tech is almost there. That's probably my next splurge. My investing weakness is the TAB. So when I want to have fun investing, I go to the TAB. I don't think investing should be fun.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Vince Scully from Life Sherpa. Thank you for answering those questions. And please give me feedback, everyone. Send us an Instagram message or in the Facebook group if you've liked this style, because I'll try and do this with guests. I mean, we might do another episode that's 10 minutes on a topic, but I'm not going to ask you the same questions again. But and I think the the thing was, if I interview somebody on the podcast, I'll do a bonus 10-minute investing episode and talk about these type of questions to see if we can learn.
Yeah. And in many ways, they are more important questions than which platform should I use.
Yeah, you didn't ask, well, I'd need the cheapest platform, I need Chess sponsored, and I need DHHF. So there you go, everyone. Thank you so much for listening today. Bye.
Bye for now.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds Financial Services Licence 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective licence holders.